This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
When I first began this project in the early 1990s, I thought I might have an interesting environmental history of industry to tell, explaining how the world's largest copper company ruined the wild places of western Montana. 2 decades later, with a new global gold rush afoot and talk of mining the deep-sea trenches and deep ocean mountain ranges, once thought far beyond the miner's reach, I believe the importance of understanding the character of our social relationship with minerals is more relevant than ever. In that sense, this is an environmental history of mining. But it is not an anti-mining tome. Rather, it is an effort to examine mining as a critical relationship with nature, with particular attention to the character of mining that formed within the economic culture of the United States during the second half of the 19th century. I have come to believe that many of our modern ecological challenges result from the failure even of modern environmental reformers to acknowledge that ordinary, everyday, modern life, what we call normal, rests entirely upon the social ecology of mining created during those years. Henry David Thoreau once wrote, "Our whole lives are startlingly moral. There is never an instant's truce between wrong and right." I don't think he meant this as an environmental statement, but I do think we can read an environmental lesson from it. Our lives and lifestyles are not separate from, but rather are wholly of, the natural world. We never stop communing with nature, no matter what we are doing, no matter who we are. The lesson I learned while researching this project is that we are all miners in the modern world, that mining made us possible. Over the course of completing this story, the character of my own political commitment to environmentalism was transformed significantly. This was encouraged and enhanced by the powerful critique offered by postmodernism generally and Bruno Latour's work related to the sciences and democracy in particular. I began this work in the early 1990s with a sense of horror about the polluted landscape and desperate desire to bear witness to the impacts and scars I found throughout the Western Mountains. I concluded, however, that the story of mining was most interesting in those elusive moments where miners or mining companies puzzled over the fundamental uncertainties of their work. I found that underneath the ecological wasteland left behind by the U.S. metal mining industry, there existed a profound and intractable uncertainty. My interest in copper mining began with the shock of a toxic landscape, massive fish kills, and miles of pollution, but ended with the realization that the uncertainties of mining practices were ineluctable. So, in the end, I did not write this book to convince people that we need to stop mining, which I once thought would be its purpose, but rather to help all of us see that we need to change our approach. As a fundamental environmental dependency, I hope this study makes clear the need to move beyond the improvised, unsustainable, and ecologically untenable pattern of ever-increasing metal output that has marked the U.S. mining industry since the 1880s. In other words, I believe we need to mature as a mining society, not to reject our plight, but instead to accept the profound responsibilities that come with it. Something we begin to do, perhaps by knowing ourselves somewhat better, by knowing ourselves as miners. At least that is my hope, and this study is my attempt at such an effort. I hope it causes readers to think about their place in the material context of the planet in ways they had not considered, and I hope it leads them to imagine new ways that we all might work to improve these circumstances.